My phone is doing weird things. What's up, y'all? Happy Tuesday. That's our 30 seconds. Give us a second to kind of make sure all of our things are in order. Welcome to Free Thinkers. We are here again for another lively Tuesday night conversation. So hopefully we will have some faces join us tonight. It's just been Q and I for the last couple of weeks, which, Q and I can probably talk for, well, we do talk for hours, hours and hours, because this is what we love to do, what we love to engage with y'all as well. So kudos to everybody who has joined us in the comment section. We've definitely had, a lot of folks who've been joining us in the comment section, people who have watched afterwards. So big shout out to y'all. Had a lot of love last week, had lots of people commenting on the page and putting hearts and all that good jazz and sharing the page. So thank you to everybody who supports us every opportunity that you can. If you are watching us right now, hit us up in the comment section. Let us know where you're following us from, where you're seeing us from. Are you seeing this video on my page? Are you seeing it on our YouTube channel? Are you seeing it on our Facebook page? Let us know that you're watching. I've said this the last couple of weeks, as soon as we get off of these conversations and we look at our numbers, we look at our metrics, like we've got, I think last week, as soon as we got off, we had, 40 to 50 people who had engaged in the video, and Facebook doesn't tell us that. So we don't know who's watching when y'all are watching. We would love to say what's up to our friends and our family who are supporting us, but we literally don't know that you're watching us unless you hit post and you comment something. The hearts will show up and the likes will show up, but it doesn't tell us who it is. So engage with us. Let us, if you're supporting us, fucking let us know you're supporting us. Like, we love you for supporting us. Thank you. Hit that share button. Follow us on both pages, our YouTube channel, and of course our Free Thinkers Facebook page. The Free Thinkers Facebook page is where you can find Tuesday information every single week. It is always pinned at the top of the Free Thinkers page. So if ever you're like, how the hell do I find them? Or if you're only seeing us on YouTube and you're trying to figure out how do I join these folks, you have to join the Facebook Free Thinkers page as well. That's where I post the StreamYard link. That does not get posted on our YouTube channel. So you do have to follow the Facebook page to get the login, because it does change every week. And then, every time the show airs, we continue the conversation. So if you're not able to catch us live on Tuesday night, you can catch us, after you get home, or Wednesday or Thursday, or every other day of the week after that. And if you engage in conversation in the posts, after the show is over, we will continue engaging in conversation with you. So, we want to make conversation a normal thing. We enjoy having conversation with people who enjoy having conversation. Last week we were gifted a topic, and this week we were gifted a topic again by somebody else. So it's always like super exciting when y'all throw us ideas of things that you want to see us talk about. So thank you to people who see something online and they're like, damn, that would be cool for Free Thinkers to talk about. So that's what we're doing tonight. So follow us on both pages. You can join in at any time. If you have to leave a little early, that's cool too. We generally go until 9:30 Central. Sometimes if the conversation is just going well, we will go over, but generally we try to stop it at 9:30. Oftentimes 10 is the latest that we'll go. But you can join at any time. You don't have to do it every Tuesday. We'd love you to do it every Tuesday, but you don't have to. If you do join a little bit late, just kind of hang out for a few seconds and get the gist of what the conversation is, so you can kind of follow where we are and then jump in at that point. Please don't ask like mid-sentence, what are y'all talking about? No, just wait. Just wait and pick it up. And so, I run through the thing every week, so I won't take up too much time. I want to go ahead and get us chatting since we got Denise here tonight. I know she's on the East Coast, so it's a little later over there than it is for us in the central part. The warning language of, warning, of course, there's always adult language here. These are adult conversations and adult topics. So totally up to you where you want to hear us at and who you want to hear along with us. But we do use adult language sometimes. And that's pretty much it. Share. We absolutely appreciate beyond words the support that we get from you guys. So just please keep sharing. And tonight we have a great conversation. I posted a video and we'll show it here in a few minutes whenever we start getting to the conversation. But there's a video that just kind of has, it has a woman speaking on her opinions on men receiving consequences and women receiving consequences and the difference between the two. There is a post that talks about love, and basically, if you love somebody, is that forever? Do you love them forever? Can you fall out of love? Do you lose respect or admiration? But do you still love somebody? And then Q had put something up last week, interestingly enough, about if women were able to be men for a day, they would be the men that women hate. So really curious to see where this goes. So far, we got 2 women and one man on here. We got some other fellows who are supposed to be joining us tonight. So hopefully they will tap in here pretty soon and we can have a really good, well-rounded conversation. Q, did I forget anything? Do I need to say anything? I'm going to jump to my page really quickly and make sure the video is live. Welcome back, Denise. It's been forever.
Yeah, the video live. I see it.
What's up, Static? Join the show. It's good to see you.
I want to hear what Smack has to say. Somebody text Smack.
I do not want to hear what he got to say.
Text Smack.
Look, he'll see you on in a minute. He gonna jump on. He'll be like, my boo thing is Let me see what she's talking about.
He only halfway serious with everything he say. He say half stuff tongue in cheek all the time.
That's not the Denise part. All right, yeah, we're public on my page, so everything is up. All right, so Denise, did you get a chance to see any of the stuff that I'm talking about? I know you're off of social media right now, but did you even get a chance to see what the hell we're talking about tonight?
I saw the text whenever I asked for the link. I was like, my spirit told me to hop on. Now, before I knew what we were talking about, so I just feel like whatever we talk about today, I need to hear.
I need to be there tonight.
I need to hear whatever it is we talk about today. But yes, I did see that, and I'm very interested in that, and I'm definitely going to sit in my truth. Y'all know me, so I'm ready.
Let's do it. All right, let's see. Q, you want to go ahead and throw some stuff up? Let's start with the video.
You want to go
you
with the
start
video
with
first?
That? Yeah, let's start with the video.
We can go with that last.
We go whichever direction you want. You got to control.
Because you know what, that when I watched that video, and I think I saw a piece of it the week before, it put me in a mood. I'm like, I don't know if I need to be in the mood right now. It put me like in borderline in a bad mood.
Really?
Ooh.
I'll be curious when we get to it. I'll be curious to understand why.
Me
Hold
too.
on, my mom just walked in the fucking door from Minnesota right now. Y'all keep talking just a minute, please. Hold on.
Sure. And so let me tell you this, and then we'll jump to something else. Part of the reason it put me in a bad mood is, did you see the video? Let me ask you first.
No, I have seen nothing.
Okay. I will wait. But when I saw the video and what the girl was saying, I'll wait. I'll let you see it, and then I'll tell you why it put me in a bad mood.
Okay.
But I don't even need to talk about it right now. So let's.
I think triggered again.
I think this is gonna be a quick one. So let's go here first. If women could be men for a day, they'd be the kind of man that they all hate. I thought this was an interesting post. That's why I posted it. One of my friends, Jay, put this up here, and he's always, I wish he would get on one day. He always has very introspective thoughts on things. But I just thought it was interesting. And that's one of those things where I was curious to see the response. Normally, I don't post stuff just to see what the response is, but I was curious to see what the actual response was. And for the most part, it was what I expected it to be.
What was that? A bunch of cats?
That wouldn't be me. I wouldn't do, like, how do you know? And that was one of my first questions. Like, how do you know how you would respond if you were in a man's body?
Let me tell you something. I talked to my close friends and my cousin, my play cousin, about this, and I would be a hoe. I would be a hoe. I wouldn't be a womanizer. I would just be like probably not committed, but I would be honest with all my girls. Like, hey, baby, listen, this is what it is right now. Like, I think it would take me a while.
Are you sure you'd be honest with all your girls?
Yeah, because I'm honest when I'm honest now. I'm honest to a fault. I wish I could. I wish I was
Girl,
a liar. I wish I
wish
was
I
a
could lie.
liar. Yeah, like I wish I was a liar. I would get a
Wish I
lot
could
more of what I wanted.
So let me
But I
follow up with
can't
you.
lie.
Here's a side question that's pertaining to your response.
Uh-huh.
Do you feel that women handle the truth better than men or vice versa?
Oh, 1000%. 1000%. Men, and I, ooh, I'm going to say something without telling all my little business, Lord.
Friend, I know.
Okay, how do I say this without telling my business?
You can't. You just say it.
I'll just say this. A man will do some of the most extreme things. Let's just say dude has a baby on you or some wild shit like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
If he did do that thing, he would want you to take him back. But he would not take you back if you cheated on him and didn't get pregnant, or if you were just dealing with the dude and didn't get pregnant. But if he got a woman pregnant, he would want you to take him back.
Okay. I know we're speaking in generality, so I'm not going to point out exceptions to the rule and stuff like that. But okay, I see what you're saying. Now, with that, my counter argument with that is I will agree, generally speaking, with that double standard. Now, on the flip side, when I say handling the truth better, I could say women may handle the truth better than men, but the problem with women is your memory lasts forever and it never dies.
That's true.
So yeah, you handled the truth, but now this, whatever happened, is going to be hanging over my head for the rest of our lives.
That's true.
So with that, then it's like, so then those things is, if I'm going to have to hear about this for the rest of my life, do I want to be honest about this situation? And that's where the other side of it comes in. So that's, I'm not saying right or wrong, but that's my counter argument to saying you may handle it better, but if this is something I'm gonna be dealing with for the next 30 years, I might disagree. Maybe you didn't handle that well because you're still talking about it and it happened in 1992.
I'll say this, and for myself, when I've done that, which I've done that a lot, I'm doing it today. But I'd say usually when a woman brings up something that a man already did, she is triggered. She's like, well, ooh, this reminds me of the thing. Hold on, I don't want the thing to happen again.
Everything gonna remind you of the thing.
Hold on, like I don't. But no, seriously, there's like little behaviors and little stuff that y'all
remind
start
you of the
doing.
thing when it wasn't even you. That was 2 boyfriends ago. You reminded of something that he did 3 relationships ago.
No, Q, stay on topic now.
Okay, let's go.
That's also true, but okay. Let's stay on topic.
I got you. I'm gonna reel this back in a second.
You know, but yes, it's like a woman trying to protect herself and trying to remind you to like, please don't do this thing again, because we won't be able to recover if you do the thing again. So let me remind you that you can't do this thing, because if you do, it's over. You know, like, and not over in a like, okay, we're gonna go our separate ways type of way. Like, it's going to like, I'm going to explode and I'm going to take you down with me. Like, we gonna both self-destruct. So before we get there, I'm just speaking for myself. Before we get there, let's not ever do this again. And let me remind you every so often when you do something that makes me think you might do the thing.
Okay, so that was my side question as far as, you know, how people would respond. T-Double, jump in, sir. What are your thoughts so far?
Welcome.
First of all, what's up, everybody? I finally made it.
What's up?
What's going on, boss?
That jacket's fire.
Oh, appreciate it. I'm trying.
It's necessary today in Austin, Texas. Shit.
It is.
Cold out there?
It is.
Girl.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, by Texas standards, it is.
So it's like, oh, it's cold there?
Not get carried away.
They had to wear a long sleeve.
I tell a New Yorker how cold it is.
It's definitely.
Oh my God, it's 50.
Whatever.
51
it's
degrees
cold.
outside. They were like, shut up.
It is.
It is. No, but I agree with Quinn that guys definitely take a pause before we decide what we want to tell the woman. You know what I mean? Because like he said, will it last? Will it hang over our heads forever? Will it pop up at the weirdest moment that we just might be living life, going through emotion, and we might not be thinking of it? Because with guys, we don't let those things stay in our brains forever. So we might be at dinner and we might do something you like. There he go doing that shit again. He's smacking with his mouth open again. I'm just saying in general, just something.
Mm-hmm.
There he is smacking again. And we just eating, we enjoying our time with you. That's where our head is.
Mm-hmm.
But you're like, there it is. So your mood changes, the attitude flips. And then the guys are like, what's wrong? What's going on? You might be like, nothing, I'm cool. Or you might respond in a real aggressive manner, like, I told you, we've had this discussion before. And then the whole thing could change. So guys, we definitely take a moment to be like, should I say that? And we'll do that, we'll do that for even small things. It doesn't have to be really big things. We might be like, should I tell her that, I forgot to whatever after she mentioned it a few times? Maybe I'll just keep it to myself on that one.
And that's why women and men, let me throw this out here. And I tell this in relationships where listen, if you have a gripe or issue about something, save it for the important stuff. You don't realize when you pick or you get irritated with little stuff, you're sending me messages right now that if something big happened, your ass show ain't gonna be able to handle it. Cause you get your whole mood, you lose your whole day off of something that was petty. Something that was small and simple. So if you can't keep your composure over something small and simple, I'm definitely not gonna tell you no real stuff. You show to me on a regular basis that you don't know how to manage situations or manage your emotions in situations. And that tell me right there, well, how come you ain't just tell me? Well, yeah, when I forgot to take the trash out, then you was mad for 2 days after that. Why would I tell you anything?
Can I ask the men a question? I don't want to get us off subject, but I gotta do it.
Go ahead.
It's kind of on subject. I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and their response to me was, men don't think that's that far into it like y'all do. And I think
pertaining to what?
Right.
Not specifically, but generally, what was
like dating apps and stuff like that. Like when we get on the apps, we're like, okay, I'm getting on for this reason. And man will just kind of casually be on and be like, yeah, whatever. Like, with that being said, can y'all give me maybe a list of like 5 things that you felt like three things that you maybe had a conversation with a woman about, and she was just so serious about this thing, and you were just like, that's nothing to me. I don't even think that serious into it. Like, it's not that serious for me.
Yeah, I would say I've never been on a dating app. I've never in my life. I've never been on none of that stuff, Tinder or whatever it is. But I have had discussions where I've met a person and their thing was, because they had past relationships, right? Where they were like, excuse me, where they were like, I really like a guy who takes out the trash. And it was like, take out the trash. Really got to take out the trash. And I was raised to always take out the trash. So it was never like, that's really a thing. That's like, you really dated guys who like never wanted to take out the trash. Like, it was just, to me, that was like something that was like very weird to me. And I was like, so then it got to a point where you're like, I got to remember to take out the trash. Then it became a mental thing to me. Where I'm like, did I take out the trash? I got to take out the trash. Then it flips my whole mind. But it was like something like that, where it's like, really? You're really leaning on that. And like, kind of like what Quinn said earlier, it comes from past relationships. I think if we seriously, honestly met somebody and based our interaction solely on that moment with that person, we wouldn't have a lot of this extra stuff about the situation, because we'll be judging that person on that moment right then and who they are. But when we meet somebody, we're like, she kind of looks like my ex-girlfriend, or my ex-girlfriend used to do that, or why does she want to blah blah blah, so we don't try, but it subliminally seeps its way into what we're doing, even though we can pretend like I like you for who you are. Every time we get in a relationship, we always say, let's leave the past in the past.
Right.
Right? Let's leave the past in the past. And even saying that, it could make the other person say, Well, what's in your past that you want to leave in the past?
Shit, leave it there. Shit.
Yeah,
But also, let me say also that it our circle will squash that type of mindset on top of that. So like he said, she reminded me of one of my ex-girlfriends. Now a girl, a woman can say, oh, he remind me the way he he bow-legged just like Craig would, this and this and that. And the girlfriend would be like, oh girl, you better watch out.
Right.
Like, what? Now let me say something. Man, you know what she remind me? You know, the way she wear her twist is like because you remind me of what, like, dude, shut up. Them two different people. Right. Like your friends are not gonna let you go down that rabbit hole. Versus a woman, friends will go down the hole with you. Yeah, you better watch out. You know, and he a Sagittarius too. Oh, girl, you better let you tell a man that. Like, what, dude? Shut up. Is she cool? All right.
Yeah. And guys,
what are you talking about?
And to add to that, guys, we don't really have late night sessions or whatever talking about the girls we're talking to.
Right.
You know what I mean? We don't do that. We don't sit and say, yo, let me tell you about so and so. Let me tell you about a dog. Like, we don't do that. Like, women, they'll get together, you'll meet a guy, you'll get on FaceTime. How was the date? What did y'all do? What did he look like? What did he say? We'll be like, oh, you through hanging with your girl? Cool, let's meet up at whatever. We don't even get into it.
Hold on, Denise. Let me get back to the
good
beginning
question.
part of your
I'm following you, Denise. I'm
going to get back to the
maybe
beginning
they
part of your
should.
question. Now, I have been on social the dating sites and stuff like that. Now, I'm not gonna speak for everybody, but a lot of times with men, we don't, unless you one of them soft type dudes, we don't put more expectation than it deserves. So we know on a dating site, there's limitations. Most men don't say, I'm looking for love, I'm looking for Mrs. Right on this dating site. Like, that's not realistic. If it happens, and that's
the
what we're
ones
looking
that do,
for,
you should probably
it's a bonus. Like, oh man, this is something so social and casual. And if I happen to find somebody that I'm really feeling, then, oh wow, I wasn't expecting that. Whereas you'll find a lot of women getting on these sites looking for Mr. Right. And we like, why would you be on here looking for Mr. Right? Like, that don't make that, like this. This ain't even
the same reason that they would if they were out in a club or at a bar or in different social settings that were not a dating app.
And a lot of men don't understand it either. Why are you at the club? Like, you at the club looking for Mrs. Right?
Well, but you
can find her there,
but you have to think about realistically, where do adult people socialize? Like, realistically,
where do people go?
Where do people meet each other? Like, that's literally always been my greatest challenge.
Go to the place where people living their best single life and they living it up and enjoying
exactly.
it.
Like he said, go to places where people live in that. Go to places where the
person. I'll be at HEB once a week, and I still ain't met Prince Charming at HEB. So I'm
go to places where the type of person you would like to meet.
Of course, ideally,
would most likely be at. Would most likely be at. Like,
ideally,
if you want to meet somebody who makes a certain amount of money, or a certain woman who does this and has this part in her career, you'll probably go to a place where that type of woman would be at.
Right.
You know, I mean, that's how you wouldn't find that person. You know, you might see him at HEB. Right. You might catch.
I mean, everybody's got to have groceries. We all got it.
Yes, that's more of a neutral place. But let me say, so let me ask you this, Nikki and Denise: do you prefer the guy that you start dating to be going out to the club 2-3 times a week?
Not unless he's directly in the industry.
That's what I'm saying. So why would you go to the club looking to meet someone like that?
Because that's
not the environment that you would want them to stay in.
Because that's where people who are free on Friday nights or Saturday nights or Thursday nights go and listen to music and have a drink, and
I got that, Nikki. I'm just saying that shouldn't be your primary expectation. Let me go to the club to see if I can find Mr. Right. But a lot of people do. That's what I'm saying.
Hold on,
and I'm like,
that's
weird.
I gotta chime in.
Go ahead, Denise.
Because I've been saying this.
We'll get back to the subject in a second.
We're gonna get back to it. I love Black men. Okay. That's what I want. That's what I like. That's what I need. That's what I desire. I think they're like the most beautiful beings on the planet. Okay.
What she said.
Now, My black kings ain't necessarily hanging out where I like to hang out. That's the problem.
Where are they hanging out?
The club. The club.
Other than the club, where are they also hanging out at?
Their homeboy's house. Like they're
Okay, I'll stop. Come on, hold on, no. Let's go down this rabbit hole.
Day
They at the
party.
club. They at their homeboy's house. Where else after
day
that?
Party. They might be. I don't know. Maybe there's a basketball game on, and they getting some chicken wings somewhere. I don't know. Okay, but y'all know y'all only do a few things, and the other things
You
that
do
y'all
work
do,
too. You know that, right?
flag on the where I'm gonna go. Oh, I'm
But
gonna just
she
be going up
ain't
to
gonna
people's
go to
job.
everybody's job. Be like, who's on here?
I'm gonna go to Wall Street and be like, where are the straight single
Anybody
black
in
men? Hello,
What-
I'm available. Oh no, but I have a job too, Hugh. So I
Right.
can't stop in the middle of my work day to
Right.
go find a straight black man at his job. Like,
Okay.
And to your point, Denise, I would be willing to bet that you have definitely had a lot of exposure to a lot of different men on different levels because of the nature of your profession. So you meet them in, but my thought is you meet them in different backgrounds. You meet them in production, you might meet them in networking, circles like that because of music and because of the industry world. No?
Mhm.
Let me tell y'all, I don't want to date another artist.
Right.
I can't. The drama,
Right.
the emotions, like that's the only reason why I won't, like I couldn't like date a woman. I think women are beautiful, but I can't with the emotions and the drama. Like I can't.
Right.
I can't with that. Like, and so like I feel like sometimes, no shade, T-Dub, because we are kindred spirits. We're both artists.
I'm so
We
listening
both
so intent right now. 'Cause
We're
Look,
both
y'all
artists,
know y'all
T-Dub.
divas. Y'all know
We're
y'all
bo-
some damn divas.
But T-Dub got his head on straight. I could tell he got his head on straight, and
Most of the time.
he
Most of the
uses
time.
logic and things.
You don't know. It's
But
just
see,
a
I
jacket.
would say
It's just
about
logic.
I would say about musicians in the industry, there are some who are like what you said, but there are also some, if they have a girlfriend or a significant other, they want her to kind of be a part of what they're doing and not just in the background sitting on the couch while they work on music. Some would like you, Nikki could probably tell you too, some would like you to help me make some music. Here's a song idea. What do you think? Like if I'm dating somebody, and I'm talking about me, if I'm literally dating somebody, I say, come to the studio with me, but just not to hang and be eye candy.
Right.
Like, what do you think of this beat? What do you think of this? Because sometimes people who aren't in the industry give you a more honest opinion of the music. So you'll be like, what do you think? How about this lyric? And that could be a whole nother love language, right? That you're incorporating this person into what you're doing. So sometimes you might meet somebody who's like, just sit back there and be cute.
T-Dub,
That's
I did
another
that.
example.
I did that.
Denise, that's another example where you may need to expand your hobbies. Now, we all know that your primary thing is music, and if you don't want an artist, then that's a problem. So what you might want to do is find other hobbies. You like to play tennis? Join a tennis club. Join a chess club. Join a book club.
Right.
People go to church. I don't subscribe to that because I'm not that religious type of person. Like a church person, wouldn't work for me. But for those who would, it makes sense to go in those type of areas.
I don't know that
Join a cooking club, a food, like get out there and find different stuff. And in those hobbies, you have a better chance to run into a type of person that's interested in the same type of stuff that you are.
That's what people keep telling me. But like,
if they keep, then it might be something to it.
No, okay. So for example, like I went to the museum. Y'all know who Virgil Abloh is? I went to go see his. He was a designer. He was one of first. He was like the head designer of Louis Vuitton, right?
Okay, yeah, I know.
And Kanye's best friend.
I was gonna say Kanye's friend. I know that's where you're going.
That's where all roads lead to Kanye.
That's why I need to do a Kanye club, and then maybe I'll find the man of my dreams. But anyways,
you can do that.
Nonetheless, I go to that. But I feel like I go into a museum. When you see a black man at a museum who's a straight black man, he's usually with a woman. He's usually on a date at a place like a museum or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, so it's kind of like it's like a rough situation to be in. And as far as artists, I did the whole artist thing. I was so head over heels in love. That went crazy. But I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's just harder to find what I like, but doing the things that I like to do. Because I feel like the type of man that I like doesn't necessarily like doing the stuff that I like to do.
Right. And I'd like to add to that if you're looking for somebody specifically in the industry, right?
I'm not.
But I'm just saying if somebody wanted somebody in the industry, there's a plethora of jobs in the industry. They're just not artists. There's executives, there's lawyers, there's all type of top tier artists who, individuals who make those things work. Because I talk, sometimes I meet women that they want to meet guys in the industry, and I'm like, you're really intelligent. How about you meet somebody in management? How about you meet somebody who's a publicist? How about you meet somebody who does many of these other things? So you're still in that industry, you're still getting that energy, but your mind is getting stimulated.
Oh, I could do that. Okay, T-Dub.
Yeah.
Okay, T-Dub. I like that. Okay, somebody on the business side of things. I actually probably would like something like that because I need my.
It stimulates your mind. That's why you see couples in a museum, right? Either she took him or he took her, right? But it was somebody said, "Hey, let's try something new." It's like a picnic, right? But you're at a museum. It's in an open space. You're not really one-on-one in a secluded location. Your mind is stimulated, looking at different things. Museums are dope. I love museums.
Yeah, I wish Austin had some better museums.
Man, I wish Austin had a lot. Shit.
Yeah.
Austin got a lot. They just ain't big on museums.
Including what Denise is talking about. And Austin ain't got none of that. So
I wasn't dating nobody when I was there.
No, but you can't.
I need to get my cheeks cut.
No, hold on. Sometimes people have to admit that a lot of times y'all get too comfortable. And you get comfortable being around the same circles with the same group of people. It's a lot there's several different worlds in Austin. Get on Austin 360. Find different. It's a whole lot of different things to do in different places, but you have to be. And that's one of the things I'm always willing to be like, I ain't never did that before. I'm gonna go there. That's interesting. I will just try different stuff, and I meet different type of people that's outside of my normal circle.
Right.
But you got to be willing. If you're not willing to do anything that's out of your comfort zone, then the option is not even going to be available in your mind.
That's true.
Like even right now, there's a couple of groups that I'm part of as far as Black men and executives where there's cooking classes, right? Where we're learning how to cook various dishes. So when we do go on a date, we don't have to take you out. We can invite you over. I can bring groceries to your house and cook for you and not feel awkward about it, right? So there are things that Black men are doing to better ourselves so that when we do meet you and approach you, we can bring a lot to the table and how you being like, damn, okay, I can stay home now. I don't have to go out as an option. I don't have to do this as an option. I don't have to go to the club or whatever. You can just sit at home and really Netflix and chill for real.
I like, what, T-Dub? You're onto something because you know what? I think that my mind is closed off and thinking I can't find the type of dude I like doing the stuff I like to do. And maybe I just been meeting, no tea, no shade. Maybe I'm not going to call him trash. I'm not going to ever call anybody trash, but maybe just not my jam. And I just assume that I can't find my jam, but I want to find my jam in the package of a Black man. So
realize how sometimes we think we're living in the world when we really living in a small bubble. Even though we're walking through the world, you're in a small bubble.
Yeah.
And it's usually mentally. So you need to pop that bubble and expand your circle. And all I was saying, I'm just throwing out different ways to expand your circle.
Yeah,
that's true.
Stuff. Yeah,
so, let's see if we can get back to. I forgot what the original post was about. Oh, women.
Consequences for men and women.
Yeah.
So yeah. So. Okay. So.
The loving forever or not.
Denise said she'd be a hoe.
Yeah.
If the roles were reversed.
I would. Full transparency.
Nikki, how true or what percentage or to what level do you think this statement could be true, or do you think it's false, or
which statement? That's literally when I tapped out for a second to talk to my mom. I'm sorry.
Let me find it. If it was let me find the band.
Oh, the meeting. You'd be a man that you hate. You'd be the man that you. Okay, if women could be a man for a day,
they'd be the kind of men that they all hate.
I remember that. I saw that.
If I could be a man for the day, I would
I hate the part
definitely.
about day, man. Give you a year.
A year?
You gotta
Oh,
sit
that
into
would
it
Yeah,
for a
it's a
second.
big difference. That's a big difference. I would not
You gotta
choose.
get time for that testosterone to get up in you.
I would not.
That's
I
the
would
simple
not.
part that women don't pay attention to. There's a different type of hormone going through us than it is you.
Right.
What is it? What does it feel like to be a man, like hormonally?
There's we have instincts in a different type of level that I mean, y'all have instincts too, but we also have instincts. But y'all will criticize us for our instincts.
No, I ain't
Like
asked you all that. What is it like?
Well, I'm trying.
Hormonally as a man.
Well, I would say, hold on. I would say, it's kind of like being a man. You're always on guard. You're always in protective mode, right? For yourself and others who you care for, who are close to you. You're always feel like you are in a leadership position. Most men do. That's how we wake up every day like, how can I be better? What do I need to do today? We're always thinking like that, which in some cases can make the woman feel like we're ignoring her. But in actuality, we're trying to better both of our situations. So, and like you said, our hormones are different. Like a guy, like that question is funny because a woman really can't put themselves in a guy's place because there's so many differences. A guy can never put himself in a woman's place because there's so many differences. So when we meet each other, that should be the first thing we think about is how is she thinking about this situation? What's on her mind? And you can be like, maybe I should take a moment and at least try to understand what he's saying about you. You might never comprehend. I may never comprehend you, but at least you take a moment to think about it. So we could never be each other, even for 6 months, a year, whatever. You'll still come back to being a woman and feeling like a woman. A man would still come back to feeling like a man, no matter what they tried to change within that year period.
So
to me, at least.
Is sex not that serious to y'all?
I don't base my life around it. I don't be like, I want to have sex with every girl I meet. Like when I was younger, like, growing up in Austin, when I was younger and we were teenagers in early 20s, everybody was like, yo, let's go out there and get it. But when you get older, well, when I speak for myself, as I've gotten older, that's like an added bonus, right? Because it gets to a point where you really cherish your body as well as you want to cherish the other person's body. And so you don't want to combine those energies just to be fucking, right? Like just to do it just because. It's like you want to make sure that when you're with that person, it's real. And now with so many people being in Austin, everybody knows everybody from some, like we're not that, if you've been in Austin your whole life.
Everybody knows everybody.
Everybody's 1 or 2 people away. So somebody
6 degrees of separation is real in Austin.
So somebody probably has been intimate with the person that you're interested in. So you have all these other components that are in it where it's like, if that happens, that'd be great when it happens. But I never come into it meeting somebody and saying, yeah, I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna hit that. Like we used to think we were kids, right? I don't come into it like that.
So I want to have sex with every girl I meet.
I think there's a line on somebody's fucking song about that, actually.
Even with that, it's that's so let me drill it in.
I want to have sex with every girl.
That's my instinctual response.
Right.
Okay.
So that the automatic instinct, like a cat seeing a squirrel or something like that, is an automatic instinct. Like I'd jump on him if I had a chance. And then it comes and it goes. So it's not something that just, all right, I'm a follower, I'm a chaser down, I'm a hunter, I'm gonna talk to her, whatever. But there's an instinct that even if it's for 2 seconds, yes, every single time. And in a civilized society, you learn how to deal with those thoughts and emotions. Yeah, but the instinct itself don't immediately, like, it's still like a man, you could be at the gym, you could be anywhere, and it could be a guy I have no idea, I ain't never seen this dude in my life, I don't know nothing about him. She walked by, we both civilized individuals, look at each other, and then we just keep walking.
Right.
Like it's a quick moment where we like, huh. And we just keep walking. We never even say a word to each other.
I think of a lot of it, and when you go to the bare essence of like us being primal animals, right? Like people are pheromones. You put off certain certain things from your body that attract certain people. So a guy might see a girl who's beautiful, but there'll still be something about her that'll be like, nah, I ain't messing with her. Or he could be in the gym, library, museum, whatever, see somebody and being like, I would make love to that woman every day. Every day we would get it on. And then he might approach you, and then that's where things could progress or degress. Who knows? But his intention would be hard on because now he sees you as being like that. I call it the red panda. Because I was watching like this history thing, and it was all these pandas, red pandas. And the woman panda, it was all these women, and one woman panda put off this pheromone that attracted all the guys. But one panda put off his, and it just linked out of hundreds of pandas. So it's that same type of thing. And, you know, and that same energy could be a look. It could be how a guy addresses you. It could be how a woman answers a man if he approaches her. It could be many things that lead to that. But when you see somebody who you want to be intimate with all the time, whether she shows a thigh, pinky toe, whatever,
just the way she walks, she might get that walk.
She can get it all day. And then you could be around a completely gorgeous supermodel and be like, I'm good.
But as long as we talking about this, I'm talking about something that could be it's a 3-second instinct in most cases. But what it goes back to what T Double was talking about. We waking up, we got to be providers, protectors. We got a different type of weight on our shoulders. So yeah, I might glance for a second, but no, I got to get back to making this money so I can feed my family and take care of my house. Like it's the thought doesn't go away. So that's why I try to tell people, yeah, it's the instinct is always there, but there's when the difference between men who act like boys and men who are men, that what a man who acts like a boy, what they see then is too high in the priority list. I see that I don't know nothing about it, this and this. I know I like what I saw for a second, but that's probably about number 13 on my priority list. I got so much stuff to take care of today. I ain't even got time to look back again. Yeah. But it don't go away. That's all I'm saying. The instinct is still there. And I wish, you know, women understood that a little bit differently, but
like you said, you know, it's like the instinct doesn't go away, but guys know that we got to be self-sufficient. We got to be prepared. We got to have our shit together. Because when we meet you, you're not gonna ask us how often do we have sex. You're gonna ask us, what's your job like? What's your family like? What's this like? So we got to make sure we have all that together when we finally get close.
Is there a? I'm gonna ask this is gonna require some vulnerability.
Who are you talking
to? There a? I know. Is there a? Can you never turn that I must provide, I must have money, I must be able to, you can never turn that off.
Not as a man. And that's what women don't understand because we don't vocalize it and verbalize it every day. And a woman will go around thinking, well, we need this. You act like everything good. You don't even care, but you have no idea what's going on in our mind all the time.
And if you're not where you want to be, when there were times in y'all's lives where you're just like, I don't have the things that make me feel like I can provide, how were you in your relationships, or what was your energy like towards women when you were in that space in your life?
You mean like in a relationship or just single, or like? Because it's a difference. It's a difference.
Single, you're not in a situation where you feel like you can do the things you need to do as a man. So when you deal with women, you act how? Or you acted how?
So for me, I say differently. Like when I'm single, it's different because that's an added level of weight that's off of me. That's another person that I'm not responsible for.
I was just going to say, you don't have to be responsible for another person.
And especially before I had kids too, then I was single. Look, you know, it was just me. So I could go hungry or I could go without. There's times that I just didn't have enough. And it's like, yeah, you got to figure this out. And it's tough, but it ain't nothing like you got a wife and you got kids and you got people. That's a different type of way. And it's all on you. Yep. You either figure it out or you fail. And it's all on you. Yeah, and that's I'll let you jump in.
Go ahead.
It's a way that it's almost like the weight of being a black man in this, you know, in a white cop society.
Ooh.
There's every time
It
I
feels
step
like
outside,
that.
every
It
time
feels
I
like
jump in my
that.
car, I don't care how legit my tags is. I don't care this. There's always this there's this thought in the back of your. How many white men get tense when they see a police officer, when they see a police car go by? And that's something every single day I get in my car, it's one of those I'm praying in the back of my mind, let me get to my next destination safely.
Yep.
And it's one of those things that it's a constant weight, but it's since it's constant, it's just something that we live with, and it's borderline. We don't have to think about it, but it's almost impossible to explain to a white person who never had to deal with that weight or even knows what it feels like to just carry something pretty much forever.
Yep.
Oh, Jesus. How does that okay, being that this is
and I agree with that. I agree with all that.
Being that this is something y'all deal with every day, right? Like, let's just talk about all the things that black men deal with. How are you not going crazy? And how do you think it's affecting other parts of your life? Are you actually dealing with it? Are you dealing with the weight? Or do you have time to deal with the weight? Do you have the bandwidth to deal with the weight? And if you aren't, what do you think that's affecting in your life?
I want to say on that, I think with black men especially, we don't really have that much time. Think that we're busy bees. We stick to the busier we are, the less we have to wander our minds. That's why you'll see guys with 3 or 4 jobs. That's why you'll see guys with doing this and tons of things, right? Like even I was in that space when I was putting out like 3 albums a year, 4 albums a year, you know, tons of music, because I didn't want to think about all these other things. And like Q said, being a black man, you know, you wake up every day. The minute you step outside your house, you're a target. So then it comes back. So then it comes back to the relationship component, that when you come home to your girl, she should be more understanding that you started your day on some bullshit, worried about some shit. So when you come home, saying, how come you didn't? Why didn't you? You need to do, right? Though that part of it is what can drive you insane and what can push you over the edge. Because your house is supposed, you know, as we all know, your house is supposed to be your peace. You get married for your woman to be your peace, not the war like outside.
Now I have a question.
Well, hold on. Let me jump in and say this part first. Well, you know what? Because you actually led me in. Hold your question. Do you remember your question? You ain't gonna lose it, are you?
Yes. It starts with soft. And if you say that, I'll remember.
Write it down. I got soft.
Right.
Okay, good.
Okay.
I got
I love your
down,
questions,
soft.
Denise.
Sorry, I was gonna tangent y'all.
So let me jump right here first. I'm gonna go to the video, and then now this is kind of the perfect time where I was telling you why the video kind of turned me off a little bit, made me feel a certain type of way. So let me see what video.
And if you cheat, what'll happen? Oh, people will ask you, well, why did she cheat? Da 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 da. Men, when they make a bad decision, they have the consequence immediately, where women don't. We're bailed out of everything.
How are we bailed out of everything?
Okay. Every bad decision that you make, you're bailed out of. If you want to sleep around, there's birth control. If you get pregnant, you don't want to keep it, there's an abortion. If you get pregnant and you want to get married to the guy and leave and take half, you can do that. And you can do it under the guise of being happy. And, you know, and society will accept you, and some simp will probably marry you after. And then on top of that, if you're bad with your money, what are you going to do? You're going to go to a women's shelter, or the government will pay you. If you leave and you're a single mother and you're the 5th baby mama or whatever, you can also go to the government. They'll pay you. Oh, you can cheat. You're right. You can cheat. And if you cheat, what'll happen? Oh, people will ask you, well, why did she cheat? Da 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 da. Men, when they make a bad decision, they have the consequence.
So
I remember that video.
So
I didn't catch the first part. Men, when they what?
When they make a bad decision, we have rougher consequences than if a woman does. That's what she led into. If you have, you know, if you get pregnant, you can have an abortion. If you that's what she got and all that.
Whatever. There's
a solution.
Yeah. There's
Tell
a
me why
support
that made
system
you
for your mistakes.
Tell me why that made you so upset.
So this is why it made me upset, because as a moderator, when I think about conversations, then I also think about how, you know, how conversations will go, what the response will be, so forth like that. And first thing that upset me is just thinking and projecting is that whenever these type of things are said, and the woman is absolutely right, speaking in general terms, speaking generally, she's absolutely right. But what a lot of people will do, and in this case, women, when someone's speaking a general truth, then they will go to specifics in order to counteract that point. Well, no, that's not the case with me, because when I had to do such and such, such and such, and they'll try to negate the whole point by picking out a personal situation that goes against it. And that's the stuff that gets on my nerve, because it's like somebody's telling you something, you know, that they're telling you of advantages that you have and disadvantages that men have, but you're not going to hear it, because you'll just point to the exception versus the rule itself. And those are the things, and those are the type of conversations, like, I don't even know if I want to have this conversation, because, and not only that, because that's real life stuff that I deal with. Even like when I was going through my divorce, when I had to start telling people, you know, we're breaking up, we're getting divorced. You know, first question a lot of people ask, what you do? Me?
Yikes.
Immediately, it's me. What did I do? Immediately when we one of the other posts that's up there, and the guy was helped me a lot talking about the different the different discrepancies with child support, and that's another post on there, and that's one of the things I'm going through. I I looked at the check that I get less than 40% of my check. I make maybe about 5,500 outside, about 5,500 a month, and I see maybe 2,000 outside of I'm paying the child support, the extra. See, myself, if I was just paying benefits for myself, it'd probably be about $75 to $80 a month. But with my kids on there, I pay around $600 a month just on that, on top of the child support. So I'm doing all of that, taking care of all of these things. And then come tax time, I don't even get to claim them. None of that. And all this money that I'm making, supposedly, I'm still going to have to pay taxes. By the end, when I file my taxes, I'm going to have to pay. I'm going to have to dish out some money. And I don't see
the child support system only makes it difficult for men that actually do their job. The child support system,
this is the thing, though,
punishes men that actually do their job.
The average, I don't even say the average. A lot of people, a lot of women who engage in these conversations don't care. And it's not even that you don't care. Sometimes some people don't care, but it goes back to the initial part of the first thing we were talking about. You ain't walked in these shoes, so you can't understand it. And with that being said, like men, we don't go around expressing this. This is just stuff that we gotta get kicked in the teeth, and we just gotta deal with it.
You gotta do it.
But do you though? Like, but yes, really, I mean, and yes, I know that. Yes, I know you do. Yes, I know you do, because that's what society says, right? But do you? Do
yes.
You know, I don't know.
All the stuff, even when my ex-wife stole my kids, all this, I put out like 10 G's on lawyers, and I still didn't get nothing. But a big lawyer, but still having to pay off this lawyer for the next 2 years. Like all of this stuff, like, so then if I want to go back, you want to appeal it? Okay, well, yeah, give us some more money. And it's all, and I'm already like, and all of this stuff is like, I hate to say that people don't care, but sometimes if you're not in position to see what I see, then it's not going to mean anything to you. And there's questions. Let me ask this. Like, men die like 10 years younger than women. Do anybody ask why? You think you're just genetically better than? Why do you think men die at an earlier age than women? Nobody asks these questions.
Yep.
Stress.
That's a fact. Stress. It's all stress.
But don't nobody care though.
But people do care, Q. But people do care.
I'm saying,
I know.
I'm still speaking in generality.
I know, but it
and
sucks.
they care, but they don't
that's
care
how
above
you feel
what
that people generally feel.
This is the thing, Nikki. Women got to deal with a whole lot of stuff too.
True.
Women got to deal with stuff that men, couldn't even comprehend.
Right. True.
Totally. So when you're dealing with your own stuff, in most cases, people might see it, they might acknowledge it, but that acknowledgement is not going to go higher than the own set of problems that they're faced with on a daily basis.
Right.
So anyway, all I was saying is that's one of the things. I'm glad that the people who are on here because if the wrong person was on here, is a possibility I might have been triggered. Because it's like certain stuff or not even you know what, and not only that, not just trigger, but you get to the point, for the sake of conversation, it kind of makes it bad because I might just check out, like, what's the use? So to give you my example, Denise, going back to your last question, like you was asking, what was you asking about? How do you deal with stuff with the weight on your shoulder, this and this?
Yeah,
and
like how do you deal with it, and are you dealing with it, and how does it affect?
So this is what it made me. This is what it made me. If you ever sat on the toilet too long, or you've been in a chair the wrong type of way, and your leg start going numb, it hurts for a second, and then after a while, you just don't feel it no more. It hurts for so long, or if you keep ice on something long enough, that ice is God, this hurt. But if you
I don't believe that.
If you deal with the pain long enough, it'll just it will
it turns into a scar. It turns into scar tissue. It doesn't go away. It turns into scar tissue.
I know, Nikki.
You just deal with the pain a little bit differently, but it don't go away.
You making a point though. This is the point that I'm making. Just because my leg goes numb, it doesn't mean that it's not pain there. It doesn't mean that it's not a problem there. It doesn't mean that if you continue to stay in this position, you're cutting off your circulation. You can cause harm to yourself. And if you stay in it long enough, it could be permanent harm to yourself. So to answer Denise's question, we get numb. There's certain parts of us that's actually being strangled and cut off. But since it's numb, because it's been like that for so long, then we just deal with it. And then that's when, either somebody go crazy, or that's where, the 10 year we die 10 years earlier than from stress and all of that.
And not to cut you off, Q, but I want to speak like, and that's kind of like on the child support part, right? Because child support is so dynamic that sometimes a lot of women don't understand what goes into it. Some use it as a tool or a fist to beat the man with his own children, that he can also go numb from that. And you'll be like, he don't ever see his kids. He don't ever whatever. Because to see his kids, he has to go through that mother. And she's making his life so damn hard by always taking him to court. Only let him talk to the kids a little bit before she gets on the phone and bitches him about why doesn't he buy the kids more, this and that, when he's paying child support. Like a guy, I know I have friends who pay thousands in child support, and the mother will still say, but why aren't you buying blah, blah, blah?
Yep.
Why aren't you helping me with my car note? Why aren't you helping me with my rent? Why aren't you helping me with all these other personal things? So the child becomes a chess piece, a pawn. And he gets to a point where the guy, to keep from going insane, will be like, look, they'll just take it out my check. And I'll just stop that part of that trauma. But to everybody else, they'll say that he don't even talk to his kids. What's up with him? So, being a man dealing with that, child support, that's a very real thing. Because I was on that for, mine ended like 4 years ago. But it's a very serious thing when you're dealing with the mother. You have all these other components. It's rough.
And I had to deal with that. And then since they, they don't like me, and then the my ex's mother got an issue, and she's it's bad enough I don't get to see them, but 2 weekends out of the week, and my ex don't even really keep them but so often because she at work. So then they just staying over her mama's house half the time. Mm-hmm. So then she still got an issue with me. So every time she has something, then half time she don't want to let me speak to them if I do something that make her mad. Like when that's a whole. I ain't gonna go that far into that story. But anyway, so I got my son a phone.
Yeah, that's good.
I got him a phone. I'm paying the bill on his phone. Everything is in this, and now magically, he's always getting put on punishment. And the first thing, the phone getting took from him. Every time that something happened, then the phone get took, and it magically gets taken while they over there. So whenever I'm trying to talk to him, reach out, then okay, what am I gonna do?
That's some bum ass shit, man. I'm sorry.
What am I gonna do?
Real.
Nothing, but it's. But I still have to live life. I got to make a living. Exactly. I got to put a roof over my head. I got food to eat.
You pick up extra hours.
That amount of energy, just keep good,
So here's my question to y'all.
What's up?
If you're going through all of these things, when you do come home to your woman, can you even be soft? When all day you have to have all this armor on, and all day you have to think about the fact that I can't even see my kids when I want to, and this money's being taken out of my check, and if I walk too fast, or if I make an illegal turn, or I might get shot by the police, if you have all this stuff on you, basically keeping you in a forever I gotta fight and protect myself kind of mode, can you be soft when you get home?
Totally, I think so. But at that point, that's where the wife really comes in.
This is where peace is important.
And the girlfriend really comes in and steps up and says, he's going through all this shit. Let me hug him when he walks through the door.
Yes.
Let me give him that initial embrace that now you're back safe.
You gotta fight here. You don't have to fight here. You are safe here.
Exactly.
This is home. This is where you are safe.
Drop his stuff. Take his coat. That's not being submissive. That's not being beneath him. Like a lot of women will say, I'm not doing that for him. I'm not under him. That will ease the tension the minute he walked through that door. And y'all can have a great evening and kick it, because that in the morning he's back in that bullshit. So give him that energy when he comes through the door. So that's kind of where the girlfriend and the wife steps in. To me, in my opinion, that's where she steps in. At the end of his day, when he comes home, he should want to run home to you. Yeah. Not like, let me stop by my boys and get a drink.
Right. Let me go to my baby, my peace.
Yeah. Let me go play basketball real quick. He'd be like, look, y'all, 5:30, I got to go see my girl. I got to get home right now, because that's where it's really going down.
Right.
Now, here's my question. Here's my question. I feel like this is where it's hard as a Black woman.
Well, to answer this question, Noel said y'all don't alternate tax. The woman don't have to alternate tax season. They don't have to do that.
I see that.
I know some people who will, and if they do, it's a blessing. But no, they don't have to.
Or just bust it down the middle every year.
Right, one get the other.
You gotta be friends.
Yeah, exactly.
You do. You have to be functional adults. You have to be non-bitter adults to do that shit.
Right. Yeah.
That part.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is the question I have. I hear y'all, Black men. I love you. I got 2 brothers. I adore my brothers, and that's why I feel like I have a little more insight than probably some women. And today I've gotten even more insight, which is pretty heartbreaking to know that y'all feel like that. I didn't know it was that bad. But I feel like what happens a lot of times with Black women is we are made to be like the nurturers and the lovers of everyone else. If the Black man's going through shit all day and then he comes home to her and he needs that nurturing, which he deserves, at what point is the Black woman being nurtured and loved when she's having to give out so much? And she knows what y'all go through. And so she takes a lot of it in, and then she kind of suppresses a lot of her shit because she's like, he needs me, or my children need me, or this person needs me. Like, I feel like that's the reason why Black women and Black men bump heads so much, is because we're dealing with so much weight on both ends. And then when we meet with each other, it's just like, I don't have anything left.
Yeah. I think in that situation, it really comes down to the partner that you pick when y'all really start getting there, right? That you can get a man who understands your needs as well and knows that what you're going through, how you're working hard at work, or something traumatic happened to you, that they understand that, or they won't throw it in your face, and they'll be really supportive of what you got going on, because that'll instantly make you want to give that back. Like people reflect what they get. You know what I mean? If you're giving that love to your man and that caring, and then he's an asshole to you, you're gonna stop giving that love and become an asshole back.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? And then you might start looking outside of the marriage or outside of the relationship, and then that just rabbit hole going down there. So it really comes down to the partner you meet and say, do you really understand what, you know, are they good listeners? You know what I mean? A lot of it is listening. A big part is just listening, sitting there, listening without an intent to respond.
Yeah.
Like, what's up with you? How was your day? And really give a damn.
Yeah.
Turn off the TV, turn off the computer, phone. Let's talk about our days. How can we make tomorrow better? What do you need me to do to make your day better? Okay.
My favorite word, T, is immediacy. Like the word immediacy is absolutely critical. Like to safety, security, trust, the building that bridge. Immediacy. Be fucking present in every way possible.
Yep.
Yeah, and for me, and see, that's where my faith in God comes in. I don't do a whole lot of, I don't talk about God all the time, but I definitely it's a daily walk, because it is so important for you to have the right person in your side who can support you and have your corner, be in your corner, and just so, and even still, sometimes that just your to help comfort you, even though they can't fully understand what you're going through. But they can be there, and vice versa. You want to be there to support them as well. But the weight of that should not be solely on them to be your comforter. And
facts.
Again, how can you can comfort me to a certain degree, but it's only so much that you can understand. Just like it's only so much I can understand, so anything that my girl going through, I can't understand everything, but I could rub your back and, make you some food. What you want. My thing is, you want a milkshake? Let me go get you a milkshake. That's I can show different ways to show you support and comfort you.
Right. And
even that's where so to go back to, I think, more originally what you were asking, my faith in God is what allows me to open up, is what allows me to be vulnerable when the Q you getting now, you never would have got that before. I was totally closed off.
Yeah.
But I can be open to others. I can share my story, my experiences, my trials, my F-ups, all of that. Because I've relinquished, for the most part, my responsibility to always have to protect myself.
Yeah.
And I mean that from like an emotional, spiritual type. Physically, I'm gonna protect myself, but but as far as my feelings, my emotions, trying to guard them from being hurt, I get at the God, and I give it to my experiences. My experiences, I didn't had my heart dragged in the mud before, and I'm still here. So if it happened again, I ain't gonna die. I'll be all right.
Right.
Yep.
So I lean on in whatever situation, no matter how low or how bad it get, then I made it through before. So I lean on my experiences, and I don't allow my past experiences to close me off now. That's where the God thing come in for me. Because some people, they'll have such bad experiences that it closed. No, see, I opened myself up to some of my friends and they did me wrong and they put my name out there a certain way, so I never do it again. Versus me, I had a lot of people say a whole bunch of crazy stuff about me, people that was real close to me. But, all of that just made me stronger and God keep me moving. So if it happened again, I'll make it through again. Like, it's a different mindset. Can't know about what you gonna do, what you gonna say to me, what you gonna say about me. I know, and now it's to the point, it ain't a whole lot you can say about me that I don't already say about myself. So by the time somebody say, he live on podcast telling all his business, what you gonna say about me?
That's
where the freedom come.
That right there that he just said is like, the epitome of emotional intelligence that a lot of people talk about. That's emotional intelligence right there, where you know where you are, you know how to handle your feelings, you know what you've been through, but it hasn't blocked you off. Like, you know, like me, if certain people have said things about me, I cut them off and, you know, I dwindle them down, because you don't need that type of energy in your life of people who's going to talk about you, who's going to knock your dreams. You know, you have people around you who support you, and they'll be like, so you still doing that little music thing, Denise? You still doing that little thing, tearing it? You know,
little.
cut them loose. Cut them loose. Like my core friends that are like down for me, like if I was hurt on the side of the road, all 5 of them would come. I've known them all since I was 10 years old. It's the same core amount of folks. And those are the ones that I know are down for me. Everybody else kind of comes and goes, right? Like, you know, if I have an argument with you and it's really bad and you bring up old shit or you're throwing something in my face, I don't mess with you no more. I don't hate you. I still love you. But I'm like, I'm not dealing with that person anymore. So it comes down to us to make sure that our environment that we're in and breathing in and living in is as pure as we want ourselves to be to somebody else. Get the friends that you want to be.
I'll tell you something. There was it's for Nikki and Denise. Denise, I know you don't mess with not Denise. Nikki, I know you don't mess with preachers too much. But it was TD Jakes actually put a book out. It's called He Motions. But he did a sermon leading up to the book that talked about it. If you want to get a real illustration or a glimpse of, because I can only explain it so far, but how, if you want the best way I've ever heard anybody explain what it is to be a man, I'm gonna send both of y'all. I'm gonna send it to both of y'all, and that will it. I never cried that hard in my life. I cried for about 20-30 minutes after I listened.
I'm gonna fucking cry then.
And I was like,
I'm gonna cry.
Never, like, you know, it spoke to me things I didn't even understand how to articulate. But it hit me in a way that and it was like a whole thousands of men just laid out on the floor crying. Because like nobody ever spoke. It messed me up so bad I've never watched it again.
Oh wow.
Wow.
So I send that to you, but it's like that right there, it gave an explanation like I've never heard before.
Yeah.
And for the record, I do like TD Jakes, actually. So I actually agree with many of the things that he has said. but I can only imagine what he said. I can only imagine what he said, because I empathize and I feel things the way that I feel, and I feel people's feelings the way that I feel them. So I can only imagine the things that he said, the things that women, and we can say the same things, right? We have no idea what it's like to walk out the door as a man, as y'all have no idea what it's like to walk out as a woman. And so I think what you said, T, was important. There comes a time where we just have to listen to each other. That's it. We just have to fucking stop talking, stop thinking, and just listen. And you said listen, not listen to respond, because way too often we're literally only listening and we're already formulating our response. So we're actually not listening. We're not being attentive. We're coming up with our rebuttal. We're coming up with our excuse. We're coming up with how to dismiss or justify or rationalize, as opposed to just fucking listening to understand. I might not get it, but I can hear what you're saying. And from that point forward, it's up to me to try to figure out, how am I going to be the puzzle piece? How do I figure out what fits, where it fits, how it fits? Help me make it fit. We have to listen. And too often we don't. People are not listening. So I can only imagine the things he said. And just hearing you say how much it affected you literally almost makes me want to cry, because I feel as though the weight that is on men's shoulders is probably something we could never grasp the concept of. As a single mother, having to be the protector, provider, fighter, hunter, gatherer, I know I can't hold a fucking candle to what a man's role of being a protector, provider, hunter, gatherer is. Like, I'm just doing the parts because there isn't somebody else to do the part. Like, I have to do all the parts. So I can only imagine what it's like to walk out those doors, be a man, and then let alone be a Black man or another man of color, and always have to be on defense 24/7.
Yeah, see, that's the other messed up part. See, we don't, in a lot of instances, we don't even get the benefit of being a man. Like, you know how white men get that certain privilege, like even the stuff that we don't even get the added on privilege that you're supposed to, well, not supposed to, but just in this country that men have this automatic privilege that they have. Black men don't even get to experience that.
Right. No matter how hard you work or what you achieve,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, I talk to my mom every day. And one of the main things she tells me every day is be careful when you go somewhere. And I'm grown. And my mother still says that to me, like, when you go somewhere today, be careful because you're Black. Growing up, it was always like, you're Black no matter what you accomplish. Like, I've accomplished some great things, but it's like, I know that I'm still Black, and people still look at those things like, whatever. That if somebody else who was white maybe did half those things, they would probably have a statue downtown or some shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we always got, like I was gonna say earlier, a great visual of a Black man. There's a group called Slave, right, from the 70s. Slave. Y'all probably heard of Slave. I forget the album, but you can Google it. And the cover is a Black man holding the world on his shoulders. That's the album cover. And I remember that so vividly when I was young because I had all the records stapled to my wall. But that is a great visual. If you go look at that, it's just like he's like sweaty and he just holding that world. Like, that's us every day. We walk outside like we gotta, not only do we have to take care of ourselves, we gotta take care of our women, we gotta take care of other people in the world, right? That need assistance. Because sometimes the shit jumps off, they look for the Black person to handle that. So we're always on go, which is why home is needed to be a peaceful place, which is why a man cave needs to be a sanctuary of sort, where a man can have his space and a woman can have her space, right? Like, if you have a room with multiple bedrooms, the woman can have her reading room or nook where she can just go do her thing. You let her be. A guy can go do his thing, you let him be, and then y'all get back together and everybody's re-energized.
And then if you like me in the corporate world, you're not afforded the same privilege to like be upset.
Yeah, you can't even
Like,
have a fucking bad
I
day.
hear, you know, a lot of white, I can't believe it, you know, and they snap off or they get upset about
Be the angry Black guy.
Right. I can't get angry because my anger is going to be aggressive, you know, and they're going to take if I get angry or confront
You're
someone,
being
then it's threatening.
HR.
Yeah, you're
HR.
threatening.
And I told one of my it was a girl, and this is in a couple jobs previously I had before, and we was in a sales job, and she was a very good salesperson, but you know, be on the phone and this is when I was doing, it was more aggressive sales, and she, you know, now John, you said you're gonna get this deal done. Now I called you last week. I'm not calling you again. Let's do it now. This and this and that. And she just going off on him. And as I was on the phone, she'd be telling me, look, you being too soft on him. You need to do this. You need to do that. I said, if I talk the same way that you did, I'd be in HR by this afternoon.
Yeah.
I said, I can't. You little high pitched white girl. They hear that on the phone,
right? They like that.
If I said exactly what you said the same way, I'd be fired by the end of the day. Yep. I told her that. I'm like, you know, I understand. I can't get away with the same stuff that you get away with. And she was a very good salesperson, but everything doesn't work for every person. And then I even, you know, I did door-to-door sales for a while when I worked at Spectrum. You talk about got to be non-threatening.
Right.
And you know what was funny is one of my because I became supervisor, and was this when I was supervisor? I was still working. I might have still been working right before I became supervisor, but it was an older white lady, and I was teaching. You know, I was kind of coaching her, teaching her on how to, you know, sell and go door to door and how to meet and approach people. But we'd be out there, and you know, we go out there in the daytime, and then we go like in the evening time, like well, maybe not right now. Yes, 9:20, but even up to 7:30, 8 o'clock, we still be out there. And like in the wintertime, it's dark. Yeah. So, you know, certain times, like she has some area that she had to go to, like the houses over by LBJ over in that area. And she over here telling me, she's like, no, I can't go over there at night. I'm scared. I'm too, I said, you know what? The same way that you feel about that, the neighborhoods that you go to in the evening time is the neighborhoods that I won't go to. I said, so you go to them nice neighborhoods? I'll be like, oh, it's getting dark. I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
Let me go over there by LBJ where my people at.
Yeah.
So what you think is a threat to you on that side, the where you think is comfortable, that's where I start getting nervous. I'm like, oh shoot, it's getting dark. I'm getting out of here. And I used to call my supervisor, he was a black guy too. I'm like, yo, and I be in some of them places, what's the Brushy Creek and some of them places like that. I like, oh Darnell, it's getting dark. I'm about to get up out of here. Yeah, I understand. I'll see you tomorrow. But he already knew. So
yeah, it's real. It's real.
Just different.
So my original thoughts when I watched the video, I was bothered by it because I felt like I listened to exactly what she said, and I caught a few of the words that she said, and a few of the words that she said led me to believe, one, she's definitely coming from a place of absolute privilege, but two, I wonder if she doesn't like women. I wonder if she actually has issues with women, because when she referred to the fifth baby mama, when she referred to if you're bad with money management, you could just go to a shelter. That's not quite how that works. There was just things that she said that led me to believe that she herself might have an issue with women. And there's nothing wrong with speaking the truth about issues that women have. There's nothing wrong with being transparent about some of the fucked up shit that women do. There's nothing wrong with telling the truth about bad behavior. But I feel like she was going in on certain types of women. I didn't like the energy that I got from that. I'm not saying that all of what she said was not accurate. I think that women,
you feel like she was alluding to the mistakes that a lot of women make. You think she was pointing culturally to a lot, her examples were culturally pointing to certain people?
Yeah. For sure.
Who says the fifth baby mama unless you're referring to a certain type of woman? Who says?
I agree with that.
If you look at a lot of her other videos, almost all
and that I haven't done. I don't even know who she is.
I've seen some of them on TikTok. Some of her, almost all of her panelists or
hold on, T, you're clicking. Someone's got echoes.
That's cool, Ace, whoever that is.
Okay, there we go. That's Steven. This is his topic, by the way.
Yeah. So like almost all her
8 minutes.
Almost all her panelists are black women on almost all her videos. So she's speaking to black women on almost. See, that's like my main thing with that clip is like she has a Kevin Samuel-ness about her in a lot of her videos. She's talking to a lot of black women about what they need to do. That's why she's saying a lot of baby mama. She's using those trigger words.
Polarize and get them views up.
He called a man a simp for marrying a woman that has children that aren't his. I was like, she sounds like she's scorned. She sounds a little bit bitter to me.
Yep.
Like I couldn't really be as objective because I couldn't get over that part. And since I feel as though I understand why some of the stereotypes that she listed are exactly why the fuck they are what they are when we get into systemic racism and white supremacy and things that keep people in the places in which they are sometimes, right? I had a hard time being objective listening to even what her point was because I couldn't get past what I felt like was her speaking from a place of privilege and speaking about certain types of women, as opposed to the fucking point being, do women and men have different consequences right off the bat simply because they're male versus female?
That's a good observation. Like I was looking at it purely through a gender eye.
See,
but if you step back and look at it through, more of a racial eye and the innuendos that's in there, then that's a good observation.
I'm gonna have to throw a flag on the play. Like, can y'all elaborate on this? Like, what her normal videos are like? You say she has black women on a panel. and she's talking to Black women about how they need to better themselves.
Yeah, the videos I've seen, that's how I recognize that one. I've seen maybe 2 or 3 other videos, like just scrolling TikTok or whatever. But she's basically sitting there. I think sometimes there's like 2 Black guys there too, who are kind of like her.
She's not the white chick that wears clothes and shit all the time. This isn't the same girl. I don't think this is just, okay.
No.
Okay.
So sometimes she sits there. She has like 2 Black guys who are kind of like her Joe Budden sidekicks, right? But almost every woman she talks to and tries to tell them what you should be doing, blah blah blah, all the things Nikki was saying, they're usually 99.9% Black. So she's usually the only white. She's usually the only white person there telling all the Black people what they need to be doing.
I'm just curious. See, this is what upsets me about some of this stuff that's going on. Like, what would make her the authority on what Black women need to do? And why are Black women even going to her for this information?
And she got more viewers.
Yeah, she got more
so
viewers.
That I received what I felt, I think, properly. She was speaking from her place of privilege. That I couldn't get past that.
Well, that's only if you are, and that's you. If you look at backstory, which can make a difference. If you're looking at the messenger more than the message, then that also can tell something. But the message itself, or the sentiment of the message, is that there's generally more avenues available for women who need help than there are men. That sentiment is absolutely correct.
I don't disagree with that. I definitely do not disagree. The system is certainly where while we live in a patriarchal system and society, oddly enough, the same system is not set up for men to win when it comes to the situations that she presented.
The same thing. Well, when I lost my job, maybe a couple months after my ex-wife left me. I was with the kids. It's just me and the kids, us by ourselves.
I remember that.
I'm looking. Yeah, I know you remember. And then you know, I tried to apply for food stamps. No, you don't. She's already
you don't qualify, right?
Yeah, well, I was unemployed, so I should have, but she had already filed for food stamps. So she packing her refrigerator up with all kind of food, ain't giving me nothing. I'm the one got the kids,
right?
And we got to figure out another way. It's one of those things the system ain't set up for. And had I did, then I'd have to go through all these different, It's just, well, I got them with me. I got proof of them that they with me down the lease, and it don't matter.
And so, like, I remember I had a parent that came to my school or whatever. His wife had left him with the kids or whatever the case may be, and he was getting evicted out of his house. So he's trying to find support, and I'm trying to navigate him to churches and this, that, and the third, so he can get help. It was hard for him to get help. And then if I look at like my son is a single father, and I'm proud of him because he's raising his son by himself, because that ain't an easy task at all, especially for a young man trying to navigate just this world by himself. And then he can't get food stamps, he can't get this, he can't get that. But if he was a female, now this is even more crazy. He tried to put his baby mama on child support. It don't even have a place for a woman's name to go on the child support form. Damn. Like it was, well, what is the father's name of the child? And he was like, I'm trying to put her on child support, not put myself on child support.
I didn't even know that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when we talk about, I guess, systems that are in place or whatever the case may be, and I didn't look at it, so y'all did give me another angle to look at it, just with the verbiage she used. Who was she speaking to? I can chew on that. But if I just listen to what she was saying from, I guess, my point of view, I was just looking at it like, yeah, women, you know what I'm saying? Pretty much all the things that she was saying, I've seen in my life that, yeah, she get a pass, she get a pass, she get a pass. But if you're a guy, you don't get those same passes.
So do you think there's a general consensus, and there's 3 men here, do y'all agree that women get passes more than men? Obviously,
I do.
Yeah.
I will concur with that statement.
Is the word, but it's there's definitely more avenues
Right.
for women. Like, and it goes all the way around. Like something simple.
And so
If I see a woman outside and she, waiting on the bus and then it start raining, 2, 3 guys, hey, you need a ride? You need a ride? You need a ride? Let me, get you to the house, get and it was one time, and I know, the woman shouldn't, I just have to ask anyway, but I know a woman shouldn't just jump in the car no matter what the circumstance. But she had her kids where it started pouring down rain. Hey, you need a ride? Oh, no, I'm fine. So I just took them. I had 2 umbrellas in my car. I just took them and gave them to her. Like, all right, buy some more umbrellas later. But let you be a man. It's raining outside. You just gonna be a wet, soggy dude walking down the street. I mean, and that's a simple, basic example. But even like it's there's always different avenues. People are more, golly, the example he gave, like it ain't even a list for the woman name on there. It's like everything is designed for it to be more of an assistance for the woman versus the man, and let you need some type of assistance, need you homeless and you need housing, and you man.
Yeah, the thing with guys is like, even with like child support and other things, it's under the assumption the man can work it out. He can figure it out. He can get it done. He doesn't need assistance, right? He can go get it done. While the woman is the fragile damsel in distress. So she will need everything that you can give her, even though she might have all her shit together and not necessarily need it, and the guy might need it. And they'll be like, well, you can, you don't need assistance. You don't need food stamps. You can work, right? Okay, cool. You don't need this assistance. You can work, right? Cool. So I think the assumption is guys can always get it done regardless.
And I think another thing is, what I'm saying, what our punishment was. So, and I say this all the time, and it's funny to me. Men and women's punishment was the same. It was labor. Ours was physical labor. A woman's was, childbirth. And so we'd never be able to experience the pain that a woman goes through with giving a baby, but a woman will never understand the physical pain that we go through just with working. And then they can say, well, we work too. It ain't the same. It wasn't a punishment for you. It was a punishment for us. And they called it labor, but the reason why it's harder on us is because of the punishment that was bestowed on us. And people don't understand it. And I don't know if it's meant to be understood, but it's funny that, when God was giving out punishments, if you Christian, not Christian, read the Bible, whatever the case may be. But it said, the man gonna have to work from the earth. And just seeing these little systems that put in place, man, we get our asses whooped on a day-to-day basis just with work, labor. And women, with childbirth, like that's strenuous. I can't feel it as a man, but seeing my wife go through it, like it's like, damn, like, you know what I'm saying? All the stuff that you got to go through just to push a baby up out of there, like, oh wait, like, you know what I'm saying? But it was a punishment, man. And go ahead.
I was gonna say, I'm glad that you brought that up. Thank you for bringing that up, because I think, like, if we really think about it, I think the fact that women do have to give birth, and the time that goes into being pregnant and then actually giving birth, and then what happens after you give birth, I can totally understand why certain systems are in place to help and protect women, because women could potentially be out of work for, at the very least, like
5 years,
9 months.
Well, but if you trying to raise a baby,
right? So I kind of get it in that respect, and then I cannot not bring up like the pay gap. So there's that piece as well. Now, am I going to say that it like equals out? But men definitely get paid more than women. I know. Definitely, white men get paid more than
that's
everybody.
Why I said we don't get That's why I said we don't get a lot of those benefits of being a man, because the gap between, and I don't know exactly. It's definitely not as big of a gap between black
because
men.
we still in that 3/5 rule, brother.
I mean, y'all still get paid more than us.
3/5 of a man.
Y'all still get
paid more than white
as a
women
black
do?
man we are.
Huh?
They still ain't
Do
ever
black men
changed
get
that
paid
law.
more than white women?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's still in
Yeah.
place. That's still in effect. They have never made an amendment on that one.
Yeah. I mean, but I mean, I like how this conversation has went, because I felt like the men could be honest about how they were feeling and like the things they were going through. I feel like I learned a lot from this conversation. Yeah, and I think like just from the standpoint of like thinking about getting in a serious relationship, I think it is important to think about like who you're dating, and not just what they're going through like individually as just one person, but just like as their group, as their racial group, as their gender group. Just thinking about that plus what they go through personally, I think could change how we like treat each other and understand each other and communicate with each other. So yeah, I learned a lot today.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think I just think and I think probably what I learned most, not just from relationships but from free thinkers, because whenever you have a couple relationships, it's easy to write that off as, oh, that's just her. Oh, she tripping. Oh, that's just her. But when you can have enough conversations with enough women from different backgrounds and makeups, and you still getting that, now you start to understand this is not just my personal situation. This is an element, that women have or possess that I don't understand. So then you get to a place, let me stop trying to figure out who's the rightest and who's the wrongest, if that's a word. Like you realize we are different. We will always be different. Just like I have to stop trying to expect them to understand me, and stop expecting them to try to think like a man and put them in a man's shoes. Let me stop trying to, well, if they would just do this, if they would just be more just like we're not wired to be a certain way, they're not wired to be a certain way either.
Yeah.
Accept and celebrate the differences, and instead of saying, why aren't you, just acknowledge that you are. You're telling me your truth. At what point, at some point, I have to accept your truth. And I accept it, and then you just celebrate the differences. And that's why I say even free thinkers has helped me a lot on that. And I mean, even I don't know if it was pandemic fever or whatever. We had a lot of warring conversations a couple years ago when it came to difference between men and women.
We did. It used to get intense.
Yeah,
but we always have though. Shoot,
a little while it got real intense for a while. It was contentious.
It got crazy.
But then after a while, you just
2021.
Yeah. Yeah, that late 2020, early 2021.
And shit.
It was tense.
Yeah. But that just goes to show you like how much emotion people are carrying around, how many wounds people are carrying around, how much trauma people are carrying around, how much confusion and misunderstanding and desire to be understood people are carrying around. Like, and so to kind of piggyback off of what you said, Denise, like, if you don't come away from a conversation like this without learning something, I don't know what to tell you. Because this is one of those conversations where you can learn a whole fucking lot if you really listen to everybody that talks on here. Women listening to men, men listening to women, men listening to men, women listening to women. Like, there's a lot to be said. And if you go in the weeds, you can hear even some more, even the things that people have posted in the comment section. Like, everybody's got an experience with the unjust, maybe, experience of being a man or being a woman.
You know what I do now? I just take the Jesus approach now. I think that helps me a lot. Let me tell you what I mean by the Jesus approach. I'll tell you about the Jesus approach. So people get themselves in trouble when you try to make other people understand you all the time. And maybe they don't have the mindset to, maybe they don't want to, maybe they don't have the capacity to.
Maybe not the capacity.
If you go through the Bible, when Jesus was going around teaching, he said a lot of parables, and he'd consistently say, he who hath an ear, let him hear. He didn't try to argue with nobody. He wasn't trying to force nobody to understand what you have an ear. If this is something that your ears understand, then it's for you. If your ears don't catch it, then it ain't for you.
True that.
Yeah.
And that's it. Yeah. So I tell the raw truth the way I see it. And you say I disagree. Well, I disagree with you, Q. Okay. I guess you ain't got an ear to hear it. Oh well.
Right.
Like I'm not gonna fight with you over that. Maybe, maybe 3 or 4 years down the road, then it might click and make sense to you. Right now it don't. But okay, no problem.
Yeah. I think as far as relationships, I think after you have a relationship, no matter how short or long, you should have a sabbatical after that. There should be some downtime where you don't jump back into another relationship. It should be like
you gonna disagree with you on that one.
I'm with
you, T. I'm with you.
Yeah, this kind of how I feel though, because because right now, and kind of learn yourself, right? You gotta be at peace with yourself, because if you're not, the next relationship you hop into, you haven't fully healed. So you're gonna put your trauma on the next person to heal something they didn't inflict. So
bleeding on the wrong person.
So it's like you need time. Just like when you graduate, some people graduate high school or they graduate college. I mean, they go travel. Sometimes people should do that. You don't have to leave the state, whatever, but just travel in your mind and find out how you can be better. How can you better serve yourself? How can you better serve the people you interact with when you meet them? And then once you get to that point where you're like, because I had to do that myself. Where I was like, okay, let me just balance my shit out. Because for a while, I had ego shit. I had all that shit. Like Nikki saw some of the old posts. I would be on some straight other shit. I said, let me balance that shit out. And once you balance it out, all this other positive shit it'll come into your life. You don't have to go out with the flashlight looking and searching for that shit.
Right.
Good people will come in your life. True. Lifetime friends, beautiful women, men, whatever you're looking for, jobs, it'll all come to you. But you need a moment of just radio silence in your head to get your shit right, get you right, without you being in competition with your new mate who got her shit. You know what I mean? The next person is not there to heal your trauma. That's not their job.
Right.
That's not their job. So, but no, I love all y'all. You know what I mean?
Love you too.
And then you should ask yourself, if you have trauma, like, I shouldn't go that deep in it, but
no,
coming out of a relationship, why do you have trauma?
Some people bounce, so the other person can be that cushion for their trauma.
Right, and that's one of those things a lot of times.
They don't have to think about the trauma because now they're in another relationship. So the trauma just bounce. But in the process of that, you're inflicting trauma on the new person who didn't have no trauma. So now you're messing up.
The cycle continues. Fucking cycle continues. I told somebody today, I said, in between relationships, or just when you're not in a relationship, stop dating and stop fucking and start healing, because you're literally just taking that on to the next person. And when you bounce from person to person, you're not dealing and coping. It's like alcohol and drugs. You're just stuffing that shit down, numbing out how you feel, letting somebody else feel good for a little while. And then we continue to stick our hand in the fire and wonder why it burns when our fucking hand is on fire. Like,
and then the next guy will do that to the next girl. Then you get into those conversations of, how come there's no good men?
Right.
How come there's no good women? Because we're damaging them ourselves. These are self-inflicted wounds.
Yeah.
But that's what a lot of people, you hear some people talk about. That's the you need to get away from codependency and have interdependency in relationships.
And you do. Codependency is a dangerous thing.
You shouldn't be codependent on a person. You should,
but most people are raised in an environment where codependency just becomes what you naturally do. I didn't think that I was until I realized, yes, I am. And not in the aspect of I'm trying to do things for my man for him, but I'm trying to save him from every fucking thing that could possibly hurt him. And in the interim, my needs are not being met. My cup is not being filled into. My boxes are not being checked off. And I'm still going to give and give and give because I don't want him to feel hurt. I don't want anything outside of us to fuck him up. But again, codependency truly is my needs are still not being met. I'm not even taking care of me, but I'm taking care of other people. Codependency.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Codependency is a slippery slope. And for people who are truly codependent, you have to unlearn how you love people Tell them how to love them more healthy.
And Nikki, that goes back to the mindset that I had versus like, I can't, if you ain't willing to take my last name, then I can't be with you type stuff. And now I'm like, oh, look, whatever, you gonna keep your name, you gonna change it, whatever. But that's the mindset, as we gotta be one. To now my mindset is we are two individuals who are navigating through life together, but yet still you gotta walk your path, I gotta walk mine. I can help you navigate your path, but I can't, your path is still gonna be your path regardless. Right. And that's the difference between, trying to force yourself to be hooked at the hip to somebody. Like, no,
Yeah. But two codependent people is it's a recipe for disaster. It's a recipe for disaster.
You can't be complete. How is somebody gonna be happy with you and you're not a complete person?
Mm-hmm. Come on, man.
Well, we never got to our third topic though, so we'll have to pick that up next week, because there was a lot of people there was a lot of folks that had ideas about if you love somebody, do you love them forever? There was
don't start it up. We talk about it later.
I'm just saying there was some passionate responses to that one, so maybe we'll have to tap into that one next week. I know you wanted to get into
doing Black Mirrors.
Yeah, he said we done talking about relational men and women shit for a while.
Even though the first episode of Black Mirror is gonna be relational based,
right?
So I'm gonna put the post.
There's a new season.
No, we're gonna discuss the ins and outs of some of the old ones. I have 4 favorites that I want to talk about.
Just a deep thing. He's got 3 episodes in particular, but just going into a whole different version of.
You have one in particular that you want to talk about? Then let me know. Which one?
The memory one.
You got to get the title season episode.
I'll try to find the title season episode.
Hold on, tell me, what was it about?
You can watch the person's memory. You can pull it up on TV and
yeah.
I remember that one.
Yeah. I don't know if I got that one on there now. We're gonna do Hang the DJ next week. I'm putting
Hang the DJ.
Which one was that one?
That was when they were in this like city or group, and then the machine would tell them, this is who you're dating, and then this is how long you have till you're with the next person.
That was good.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that one. I think what's that?
That was an interesting take on online dating.
Yeah.
And
there's other elements that I have in mind, but we'll talk about it later. I think San Junipero. I think that's one of them.
Which one?
San Junipero.
Oh, is that the one where people like die and
an afterlife, and it's like a simulation?
Really loved that episode, and I just couldn't get into it.
That's more along with Smack would be talking about, like, it's all a simulation. And
what about the social media episode?
Nosedive?
Is that the one with like the bees?
Oh no, not the bees.
That
no,
one.
That's I definitely want to do Nosedive though.
Which one's that one?
That's when your credit system was basically ran off of your popularity.
Oh yeah.
In China.
Hello, they sure as fuck are social credit. Yep. That's actually happening.
They're doing it in China right now.
Yes, they are.
So
all the testing that's happening there.
Hang the DJ, and what's the other one?
San Junipero.
San Junipero, okay.
And then this one, if you have one that you strongly want to do, let me know, and we can I want to break it down.
I want to do the one where they basically were like social media was like how people are canceling each other on social media. Like it was really like killing people.
Was that the one was that the one with the? Oh, that was you saying with the bees.
That I think is.
Yeah, that would be good.
So get a list of y'all's favorite episodes together, post them on Free Thinkers, so that way people can at least watch the ones that they know we're going to talk about.
Have time.
Yeah, but we are going to jump off into Black Mirror next Tuesday. Right. So if you're watching us now and you want to join us next week, the topics are not necessarily going to be based on the show per se. We're not talking about the show. We're talking about
kind of the concepts of it, and then put ourselves in some of those scenarios, and we're going to explore it like we do.
Think our way out of the box.
I like
You
that.
said Black Mirror?
Yes,
Yeah.
All
On
right.
Netflix.
it's on Netflix. Yeah,
Bet.
Black Mirror for sure. It'd be some good shit because there's definitely some things that's happening around our
I got
universe.
a lot I
These
want to
things are
talk
parallel.
about Hang the DJ. It's so many angles I want to
I'm
talk
gonna watch
about.
it tonight. I'm going to
I think
watch
I
it
may
tonight.
watch it tonight too.
Yeah,
A
I'm gonna watch it
lot.
tonight.
I mean, a lot of
Watch
angles.
tonight.
A lot of angles I want to
I'm
talk
gonna watch
about.
tonight for sure. Watch tonight.
I'm gonna watch it too.
We need to have a watch party.
I know.
Hang
You
the
can, I
DJ.
think, on
Everybody, let's
Netflix.
Hang
watch
the
Black
DJ.
Mirror.
All right. I
doing
watch
Hang
that
the
one
DJ.
tonight as well.
Bet. Well, I appreciate y'all for coming tonight. It was so good to see y'all, have y'all here. Shit, I know. I don't think anybody's been here in the longest, so it's so good to have you guys join us and give us
And
your
I
Tuesday.
apologize for my tardiness.
And thank you for the topic too. I appreciate you for sending me that.
when I'm at the kiosk at the outlet mall, man, there ain't no reception out there. So
Yeah.
trying to get on my phone and do anything,
Yeah.
I had to try to pull up when I got to the house. So
No, I appreciate you for jumping in and appreciate you for sending us the topic. And y'all just make sure you share, follow both pages. The YouTube channel, of course, the Facebook Free Thinkers group page is where we have the information every Tuesday. We cross post. If you want to network, it's all done on the Facebook group page. Lots of great people over there on our Free Thinkers family. So just join us, and we hope to see y'all next Tuesday. Have a good night.